So now it's time to install Bitcoin Core onto our machine, our node box. So log in, make sure you're logged into your node box via SSH, and we will go over to bitcoincore.org, and we will also go to the download section. And here we'll get the Linux file. So we'll just right click that. We'll copy the link and we will make a directory. So at the moment, I don't have any directories. So I'm going to make a directory called downloads. And I'm going to cd into my downloads folder. And I'm going to list out that there's nothing in there at the moment. So we're going to grab this file. So it's wget, and then we'll paste that link in. And so we will now download Bitcoin Core from our from that website, bitcoincore.org. Okay, so when you ls that, you will see a file that ends in .tar.gz. So now what we'll do is we will follow the instructions to verify this release. So we can go down and it will say Linux verification installation or instructions. So we need to download this as well. So let's copy this link and wget that. And we will also get this. So copy link and wget that as well. So now in our downloads folder, there will be 3 files. Now here, we're already cd'd into the downloads folder. So there we are. And we now need to verify the checksum of the release. So let's do that by just copying this command and pasting it in like so. And we should see an OK, and that is exactly what we see. Okay. Now, Bitcoin releases are signed by a number of individuals, each with a unique public key. So we need to import the key from one of the maintainers of Bitcoin Core. And you can see that the keys are in here. And if you want to, for example, load up Michael Ford's key, then this is the command here in full. So I'm going to do that. So we'll copy this and we will paste that through. Now you can import multiple others, people that you trust. So here are all the keys that you can potentially import as well. You can import all of them. If you know some of these people, you can confirm what their public key is. So what I'll do is I might add, who did I see here? James. So we'll copy that and we'll just do this, and we will delete that key and insert James's key in. So we've, yeah, that's his email address, his name, that's correct. We might also just do one more, Vladimir. And you can import that in as well. So that's been imported. You can do one, you can do multiple. It's really up to you how you want to check the signatures on this. Now, what we need to do is then basically run GPG verify. So let's verify this release. So paste that in like so. And you will see here that there is a good signature from the various people that we've already imported. So you can see here, good signature from Vladimir. Keep scrolling up, you'll see good good signature from Michael Ford, which we already, the first signature that we put through. And I don't know if James is on here just yet. So let's move on. We've got 2 signatures there that are good enough. So we should see a line that starts with good signature, and yeah, so that's exactly what we see. So now that we've verified that this is a legitimate copy of Bitcoin, it is now time to install this. Head on over to bitcoin.org/en/full node and scroll down to the Linux instructions. And the command to do that for Ubuntu, or to install it, is to first unzip this file. So we've got 3 files here. We're going to unzip this. So this is like a zip file. So we're going to unzip it. So that's what this command here does. So we'll copy that and we'll paste that through like so. And when we ls that, we should see a new folder being created in here. In the downloads directory, what we'll do is we will install this. So we can copy this command here. And what this will do is actually install this piece of software in the /usr/local/bin directory. So let's copy this and let's paste that through like so. And because it's sudo, we will need to type in our password as well. So now that is now installed. Okay. To actually run Bitcoin Core, all you really need to do is, as it suggests down here, run Bitcoin Core daemon. So we will just type this command in like so. So there you go. Bitcoin Core is starting. Now, what's happening in the background is basically there is a directory that is created in your home directory. So if you cd back to your home directory and you ll this, you will see a .bitcoin directory here. Now, inside that Bitcoin directory, if we cd .bitcoin and list that out, you will see the blocks being downloaded here, the chain state, wallets, and this is a typical Bitcoin Core directory, or this is what's known as your data directory. Okay, so all of the blocks and the information will all be downloaded here into this folder. So the entire blockchain is being downloaded as we speak, and you can check that. Now, I'm going to run it, the way that I like to see it is by looking at this debug.log file in live time. So I'm going to run it in a second terminal here. So what I'll do is I'll hit tail -f.bitcoin debug.log, okay? And let's see this going through. So you'll see here the status of your Bitcoin Core. It's just synchronizing block headers. So that'll go up until somewhat 700,000 at the moment blocks. So it's just downloading through the block headers, and then it will start to download the entire blockchain as well. So just give it a couple of minutes here whilst it sort of, I'll show you as it starts to download the chain. In the meantime, I'll show you some commands that you can use in Bitcoin Core as well. So bitcoin-cli get blockchain info. This will produce a big output, but at the start of it, you'll see how many blocks you're at, how many headers it's downloaded, and this will be a good way to check where you are on the chain tip. So this will basically, I guess, corroborate with how many blocks you've downloaded, and it will also show you whether it's in initial blockchain download mode. So the initial blockchain download basically takes up 450 gigs as of today. And we will download the entire chain right from inception. Or that means every single transaction that occurred on the Bitcoin network since January 3rd, 2009 will be downloaded onto our computer and into that .bitcoin directory that we're currently in. Another one that I like, another command is bitcoin CLI get connection count. This will show you how many peers you are connected to. So you're connected to another 9 peers, and so here you can start to see that the blockchain, the blockchain is now downloading through. So you can see, oh, there it goes. So it's going pretty quickly, and basically you can see the height here. It is still at like 5,000, and so when that reaches 30,000, I'm thinking at the moment. Let's just check on mempool.space. So yeah, when we're at 733,464, we will know that this thing is downloaded. Now, where you can tell is the progress here as well. That when that goes to 1, that's when you know that it's complete. But this is going to take somewhat in the vicinities of, I would say, half a day. So I'm going to leave this overnight, and hopefully this will then sort of download through the entire blockchain without any hiccups. So I'm currently at 23,000 odd in terms of the height. Okay, so whilst that is all downloading away, I'm going to create in my .bitcoin file or folder, I'm going to create a bitcoin.conf file. Now, what that will do is set parameters to our Bitcoin core such that we have a good experience when we connect other services to our Bitcoin core node. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a new file and call it bitcoin.conf. So in my .bitcoin folder, I'm going to type nano bitcoin.conf. Really important file. And so what we'll do is we will paste this in. Don't worry, I will put this in the description. But basically, so that you can copy and paste it. Now, basically what this is a little file that allows us to create a transaction index. It allows us to run it as a daemon. We are allowing it to connect for other IP addresses to our Bitcoin node. And the other thing that we want to also do is create a username and a password. So the way that we're going to do that, and I'm just going to stop this down the bottom here, there is a way that we need to create what's known as a username and a password for authentication to our Bitcoin node. Now, the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to go to the Bitcoin GitHub repository, which is github.com/bitcoin/bitcoin. And I'm going to search for file. And I'll go to file and we'll go, I think it's rpcauth.py, and it's this here. Okay. And I'm going to go to the raw file itself, and I'm going to copy this link, and I'm going to download this into my downloads directory. So I'm just going to exit out of this, but I am going to save this for now, and we'll close that out. Now here, I'm just going to stop this for a minute whilst actually what I'll do is I'll keep this open, and I will go down to the bottom and I will close this out. Control-C closes that out. So what I'll do is I will go into the downloads folder and wget that link, that rpcauth.py. Okay. I'm going to make it executable. So chmod +x rpcauth.py, and I'm going to run it with /rpcauthpy, and the username is going to be Bitcoin and the password of whatever you want. For simplicity, I'm just going to make this Bitcoin. So you can see here, string to be appended to Bitcoin conf is this. So we'll have the username of Bitcoin and your password will be Bitcoin. But what we'll put through is copy this and we'll paste it into here like so. And you can see that in the full, in its entirety there. Okay. So that's kind of what it will look like. And that's how you will authenticate into your Bitcoin node using the username Bitcoin and the password that you had set. Okay. So that is your bitcoin.conf file. I'll exit that and I will save this. And what the other thing that I'll do is I will now restart Bitcoin. So what I'll do is Bitcoin CLI stop. And you'll see this in the logs. I'll just open up the logs for you. Obviously do it in the right folder. Okay, so it's shut down. And we will do Bitcoin CLI, or rather, we just go Bitcoin D. And now you can see the logs through there. And it is back to downloading our chain tip, back to our initial blockchain download. So if we go Bitcoin CLI, get blockchain info, we will see we are 155,000 or 156,000 blocks in to 733,465. And that marries up with what I'm seeing here in mempool.space as well. Okay. So that is pretty much how the initial blockchain download is going to work. And once that's done, we'll be able to configure a little bit more. So I'm just going to wait for this overnight, and hopefully we can progress forward in the configuration of Bitcoin a bit further. So let's just wait for this to download, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, so the initial blockchain download has finished, and I can check that by typing in bitcoin-cli get blockchain info, and you'll see that the blocks are at 733,595, and the headers are also at that same amount there. So, and we can also see the initial block download is false, which means that it has actually downloaded through and it has completed all the way to the chain tip. And you can see that that last block has also been downloaded as well, 733,595. Okay. Now, the disk usage, if I type in df-h, you will see that I have used 473 gigabytes, which is about right. And yeah, so the initial blockchain download has completed and I am now synchronized to the network. Okay, so from here, what we want to do is I am going to auto start this application on the boot of my machine. Now to do that, I'm going to need a service file. And so I'm going to go back to the Bitcoin repository here. And I'm going to search for, go to file, and I'm going to search for the service file. So that is bitcoind.service. And I'm going to go to the raw, and I'm going to copy this address here, and I am going to paste, get that. And I'm going to grab that in, and I'm going to place that into my systemd directory. So we're going to change directory into etc systemd system. And we're going to sudo wget that link. And the reason that we're doing sudo is because we're outside of our home directory. So let's grab that. And we will need to put in our password. And we will then nano bitcoind.service and edit this file to what we really need it to be. So we're going to make some edits and changes to this configuration. We will sudo nano that. Sorry. Okay, so as we scroll down here, what we'll do is we will remove the weight on this, and we will also change the location of where this application starts. So you'll recall that this application was installed at usr/local/bin/bitcoind, and you can verify that in another terminal. If you type in where is bitcoind, you'll be able to see that it is in usr local bin bitcoind. So that's what we need to type in there. Now, the PID, it can be left alone, but the conf file is actually in home/Satoshi, which is our username, in our .bitcoin file folder, and the file that we need to reference is bitcoin.conf. So that is correct as well. Now correct. So we also need to change the data directory, and that data directory is /home/Satoshi/.bitcoin. So that is our data directory as well. Moving down, what we'll do is we'll put a hash in front of this little configuration thing here, which means that basically when we put a hash in front of something, it means to just ignore it. So we don't need that. So that's why I'm putting a hash in front of it. And we'll keep going down. Now the user is not going to be Bitcoin, and the group is not going to be Bitcoin. The user is actually Satoshi, which is my username. And I will change that group as well to Satoshi. And we'll scroll down here. We've got some hardening measures that we don't actually need or won't work. So what we'll do is we'll do protect home true. We will hash that one out such that that is ignored. And the rest of it, we will leave as is. So what we'll do is Control X out of that, Y to save it, and press Enter. I'm going to go back into the logs here, so you can see what's happening. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shut down Bitcoin. So Bitcoin CLI stop. So that's now shut it down, and you can see that in the logs there, it's shut down. And then we will type in sudo systemctl enable bitcoin d and sudo systemctl start bitcoin d. And you can see that that has now started in the logs. You can, and you can verify that as well by going into sudo systemctl status bitcoin d. And you should see a little green dot here. You should also see active is green and running, and you'll be able to see that this is now starting back up. So what will happen is that this will now start on the boot of your machine. So in the event that you have a power failure or something goes, your machine goes down, Bitcoin will start up in the background automatically without you having to do anything. So that is how you auto start this on boot. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do is enable Tor or connections and connectivity and communications on the Bitcoin network over Tor rather than ClearNet. What this will do is retain a little bit of your privacy when you are transacting on the Bitcoin network, as well as receiving blocks, and that will happen all over the Tor network rather than through ClearNet, which could potentially be linked to your IP address. So the way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to just go back to my home directory, and I am going to sudo apt install Tor, and we'll press enter and yes. So that has now started a service called Tor, and you can verify that by going sudo systemctl status Tor. So you'll see that that's now active. So what we'll do is edit the Tor rc file. So where that is sudo nano etc Tor rc. Sorry, etc/tor, and tor rc is the file that we need to edit. So what we're going to do is I'm going to edit this little file here, and I'm just going to go all the way down to the bottom, and I'm going to add 3 lines. It's these 3 lines, don't worry, I'll put these 3 lines in the description as well of the video, so you can copy and paste it. So ControlPort 9051, CookieAuthentication 1, and CookieAuthFileGroupReadable 1. So we will Control X that. Do we want to save it? Yes. So Y and enter. The next thing that we will do is restart Tor. So to make those changes into effect. So we'll go sudo systemctl restart Tor, and that will hopefully restart Tor. Now we need to add our user to the Tor group. And so the command for that is sudo usermod -a-g debian-tor and your username. So my username is Satoshi. So we will add that in like so. And the other thing that we will also do is add a couple of lines to our bitcoin.conf file. So we'll go nano .bitcoin/bitcoin.conf, and we will add a couple more lines. So 4 more lines: proxy equals listen equals 1, and bind equals, and onlynet equals onion. So this will allow us to go over Tor. So let's Control X that, Y, and enter. And okay, so now what I'm going to do is reboot the machine, and hopefully what will happen is Bitcoin will start on boot, and it will ensure that communications are going through Tor. So let's just sudo reboot. That should kick me out of both terminals here. So that's closed off, so is that, and we'll just wait a couple of minutes for this thing to come back online. Okay, so I'm now just going to SSH back into my node box, and I will also do it on the second terminal as well. Okay, so let's check the debug.log. So tail f .bitcoin/debug.log. Okay. Now, if you have a look here, Bitcoin CLI get connection count, it may just sit here with 0 connections, which is not ideal. Okay, so if you've waited a little bit and you still can't get any connections, so like I haven't been able to, so what you do is Bitcoin CLI get connection count, and it's still at 0, even after you've waited a bit and you still can't get any peers. What you'll have to do is you will have to manually add a node into your Bitcoin conf file. Now, the way that you would do that is go to a website called bitnodes.io, and then click on the nodes there. And you want to go to networks and go to the Tor network. And you can pick any one from here. So you just copy this and add them to your Bitcoin conf file. So you'd go nano bitcoin, bitcoin.conf, and we will edit that. And down the bottom, what we'll do is we'll add node equals, and we will put, we'll paste that string in. Okay, and we'll go Control X to save, and Y to save it, and enter. And we will sudo systemctl restart Bitcoin D. So in your logs, you'll see that now starting up again. And you'll see here, we've got a new outbound peer connected. And hopefully this peer will then put you in touch with other peers as well. So now Bitcoin CLI get connection count. We've got 1. Now we've got another one, it looks like. So we've got 2. And then you should periodically get more, and you should also, it will probably max out at 10 connections over Tor. So this is how you would manually add someone in. So once you've got, I'll wait a couple of minutes just to get more connections and more peers here. Once I get a couple of peers and and my Bitcoin node knows where to get more peers from, I will remove that add node command or line in the bitcoin.conf file because I don't need it anymore. So I've got about 5 peers now, or 6 peers now. Yep, so 5 peers. What I'll do is I'll just go and edit that. So nano bitcoin.conf, and all the way down the bottom, I can, now if you want to, just a quick shortcut, if you want to delete an entire line from a text file, Control K will make it disappear, Control X will exit out, and do you want to save it? Yes I do, and enter. So now what I'll do is sudo systemctl restart Bitcoin D. And hopefully it should remember some of the peers that it has already connected to previously, and we'll start connecting to more peers as you can see in the logs there. So Bitcoin CLI, get connection count, and we're already at 2. Now, to confirm that you are, or your traffic is going through Tor, you can type in bitcoin-CLI get network info. So you'll see here that IPv4 is reachable false, so no connections via ClearNet, no connections via IPv6, meaning reachable false, and Onion, however, is reachable true, and you'll also have your Onion address as well here. So now you can be certain that you are connecting through Tor. And if you want to double check that as well, Bitcoin CLI, I think it's get peer info, and you should be able to see the Onion addresses of your peers as well. So that's that Onion address there. There's another one there, and you can see that you're always connected to an Onion address. Okay. Now it's time to show you my favorite command. It is Bitcoin CLI get tx outset info. Okay. Now what this command will do, and it's going to take a little bit of time to run, but basically it shows the supply of Bitcoin in circulation as of right now. This is something that we've never been able to do in the history of humanity, which is to actually know the supply of our money. So this is what really fascinates me and got me fascinated with Bitcoin, is that we've created a digital good that can't be copy and pasted, and that it is finite in supply. This command really just shows that, and I think it's one of the coolest things about Bitcoin is that we have something that we can verifiably prove as the supply of. So we'll just wait until this thing spits out our result. Okay, so you can see that this has spit out the result here, and you can see the total amount, 19,022,273 Bitcoins in existence. So that's pretty cool. So now I want to talk about upgrading your Bitcoin node. Thankfully, just last night, Bitcoin 23 got released, and I installed Bitcoin version 22. So let's see how we can upgrade our version of Bitcoin. So you can see right now I'm running Bitcoin CLI. If I just type in version, maybe -- version, you'll see the version is 22. We're going to upgrade that to 23. So let's go to bitcoincore.org and see if they've uploaded that. No, the latest is still 22. So what we'll do is we will /bin, and we will do Bitcoin Core 23. And I'm going to download not all of these files, but these files here into my downloads directory. So I'm going to go into CD downloads, and we'll see here that I've got a couple of these SHA-SUMs. So I'm going to remove all of that. And that one as well. And I'm going to download the Linux version, which is 23 here. So we'll copy this link and we will wget that. And I'm going to get the verification signatures as well. So copy that link. So what happened there? Wget that, and we will also wget this one. Okay. So now I have Bitcoin 23. Now let's verify this. So we will go back to the instructions that we originally had. Hopefully, in a couple of days' time, this will be updated to the latest 23 instructions. But let's just take a look. So we'll cd into downloads, and we will do that check again. And you can see that Bitcoin 23 is okay. Fantastic. And we will basically just verify, because we've already imported some of the keys already in. So let's check what happens here. So let's verify that. So you'll see here, good signature from Vladimir, because I imported his signature in. Let's see who else. I've got Michael Ford as well. So that's a good signature from him. Yeah. So that has now successfully been verified. Now we'll go back to bitcoin.org, and we will follow those instructions to basically unzip it and overwrite what we currently have. So I'll just go back up to the top here. Linux instructions. And we will tar this. So I'm just going to copy this, just a small amount, and we will tab, and then we want 3, so we'll auto-complete that. So that will now untar it. So we'll now have a folder called Bitcoin 23. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to stop the existing service. So Bitcoin CLI stop. So now we can see that that has shut down. Fantastic. We want to shut that down, shut down Bitcoin. And what we will do is we will take this command here, but we need to update it for 23. So we will just do this, but this will be to version 23. So enter, and sudo systemctl start bitcoin d, and you can see it's successfully started back up again. And if you go bitcoin CLI -- version, you are now on version 23. Now, if you want to figure out some more commands, if you want to have a look at some of the commands that are available, what you can do is go Bitcoin CLI help, and it will show you a lot of commands there that you can explore and have a look at. So you're more than welcome to go through all of these and just have a look and see what happens as you type these things through. So you can see my favorite one there, get TX outset info, and you'll see some other ones as well that I've been using throughout the series. That completes the I guess the installation, the verification, and running of Bitcoin Core. Thanks for watching, and if you'd like to support the work that I'm doing, head on over to ministryofnodes.com and click on the support button. I accept Bitcoin, Lightning, PayPal, and credit card. If you want one-on-one consulting, head on over to the consulting page and book into my calendar widget. I can help you with holding your own keys, running your own node, and privacy best practices. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.